All right, moving on to Ginger Snaps Unleashed 2. Ginger Snaps 2 Unleashed. The way this is written, Ginger Snaps Unleashed 2. It's pretty funny. The curse is back. Curse is back. All right, so flip the page here. Ginger Snaps 2. All right, so we get our girl here from the first, Bridget, and she is injecting herself with this wolfsbane, which is a poison, and she runs into good old Brendan Fletcher, and he gets killed off very, very quickly. I thought he was going to be a bigger character in this. I have no memory of this film except for that it took place in a hospital of some sort. I think that's all I remembered about it. Maybe even I didn't even remember that. Maybe I'm making that up. But I honestly did not remember. I did not remember that Ginger is only a ghost of her memory in this at all. So I thought they brought them back, but how fucking wrong I was. So that shows you how much I remember about this movie. But yeah, Ginger is in her mind, and she's put in this rehab because they think she has like a drug problem. She's been injecting herself. And then I love when she's in the kind of group setting, and she's like, there, everyone's talking about their problems, and she's like describing that her fears of turning into a werewolf in front of them, and then the doctor's response to that by writing on her paper at the top is lesbian with question marks. I thought that was hilarious. I think that's might be my favorite scene of the entire film, is just her writing lesbian. Is she a lesbian? Because she thinks she's going to turn into a werewolf? The stretch you'd have to go to. This doctor thinks she's so educated. She's got to be a fucking lesbian, right? Werewolves, lesbians? They correlate somehow. And then we meet our other character of this movie, Ghost. And Ghost has a secret. Obviously, we're talking about spoilers, as we always do with these. Ghost is a little fucker. She's an annoying little sidekick in this. I like her fine, but the ending of this movie is definitely the best part about it, for sure. A little convenient, okay? Definitely go with that. So, it gets a tad bit of an eye roll for me. Just because it's like, oh, really? There's werewolves, and there's like cunning little killer girls in this. Like, okay, whatever. I don't care. I still like that reveal at the end that she's actually the one who burned her grandma, and she ends up keeping, Bridget as like this fantasy werewolf sidekick that maybe she's gonna sick on her grandmother's burned, incapacitated body when she's welcomed home that day at the end of the movie. So I really like that kind of stuff, and that she lies about that dude taking advantage of her and hurting her, harming her, although he's a piece of shit. He's a fucking rapist. That's how I see this guy. He goes in there and he's in a very strong position of power, and he fucking uses their addiction and is like, hey, you want drugs? Fuck me for them. That's rape. That is straight out rape to me. Like, these girls, they have an addiction. It's like they can't say no, even though they have no interest. I don't see it any other way. So they kind of play it out like she made this story up about this guy, but not only does he proposition Bridget in this, but he also is fucking that girl that's doing the cocaine in that scene. It's very dark and it's hard to tell it's him, but it's him. I rewound it and looked, and I was like, no, that's definitely him. But anyway, he's trying to get Bridget to fuck him for her drugs earlier in the film. So regardless, even if that wasn't him, he's still doing it. 100%. This guy's a piece of shit. So the fact that Ghost even needed to lie about it, it's like, that's questionable to me if that was even a lie. Because this guy's trying to fuck everything. And yeah, Ghost is probably 14 or 15, but does this guy really have standards? If you're going to exploit girls who need drugs and you give them to them in the hospital that they're trying to recover in to fuck them. Dude, brutal person. We do get to see some nudity. I'm sorry. I was like, wait a minute, that can't be accurate. That's in the next movie. I flipped the page and I was like, wait a minute, nudity? No, that's not until the next movie. That's funny. I don't know how the page got flipped. That was weird. As soon as I saw it on the page, though, is immediately what I want to talk about. I'm like, oh, I'm already there? I'm not already there. Fuck, dude. My nose itches from all that cocaine I've been snorting. I had to fuck some guy to get it, but, you know, it was worth it. A little bit of that nose candy. The whole masturbation class that she fantasizes about with all those girls in there, kind of a hot scene. That should totally be a thing. That should be sex education. They should take the girls off one way. Some girl teaches them all to masturbate together. And then same with the boys. Although that sounds like a sticky situation to me. And then let's see. Yeah, the rapist gets eaten. Good. The werewolf in this looks great. I like the werewolf in this a lot better. How about that? Than in the first movie, for sure. And then, yeah, I mean, Ghost keeps her for a companion. Yeah, I mean, when the transformation happens, it seems to be that the transformation is permanent. And as I had stated in my first review, I can only assume that the male werewolf in this movie that is hunting her down is the guy that her sister turned in the first movie by having sex with him. I don't think it's ever outright stated in the movie, but that makes the most sense to me. He's out for vengeance, coming after the sister, you know. And I don't know. I mean, this movie's fine. I like the ending the most, for sure, of the franchise. I think it's the best ending of the three. And I do like Bridget. I do like Emily Perkins here. I think she's fine. I just feel like she's missing. I feel like they could have easily brought back Ginger into this movie by, you know, showing the ending scene of the first one again, and then it shows her on the bed, and then it can cut to her in that same moment, and she's just like looks at the syringe in her hand, and she like goes to inject it into herself, and then is like, no, and then she goes and she injects it into the dead body of her sister's werewolf corpse, and then, you know, she waits a minute, it doesn't move, and she's like, fuck, and then it starts shaking, you know, and like coming to life, and then it like shrinks back down into Catherine Isabel. I think it would have been very easy to bring her back. Now, maybe it would have taken away from the impact of the last movie, but if you're gonna make the second movie, I guess the whole sister in her mind thing is fine, and the sister's now going through with the other, you know, what Ginger went through, and whatnot. Ginger snaps to Unleashed. I don't think that works. How is Unleashed? She's not unleashed. She's trying to repress it the entire film, and she never unleashes it in the entire movie. Never once. You know, yeah, she fights the werewolf, and they have a big battle, and she stabs it and throws it down on this, like, you know, trapped mattress that they put a bunch of spikes on and whatnot. But there's nothing unleashed here. That's kind of a stupid name. Unleashed would be she just fucking says fuck it and like completely transforms and just starts wrecking people, which is not what happens at all. But yeah, I do find it funny that she masturbates, and then there's a scene where right after she's like masturbating, then she pulls her hand out of her pocket and she has hairy palms. I thought that was fucking fantastic. I don't think that was on purpose, honestly. Maybe it might have been. Maybe the director has a better sense of humor than I'm giving him credit for. Him? I think it's a him, right? Brett, yeah, him. Yeah, probably a better sense of humor than I'm giving him credit for, but I don't know. The fact that she's masturbating and then has hairy palms, that's just, in case someone doesn't know, that's what men are told. You know, it's like a a urban legend, old wives' tale. You get hairy palms from jerking off too much. So it's really funny to see her have hairy palms from masturbating, especially since she's a woman. I've never heard of hairy palms on a woman, like in a in a old wives' tale. So pretty funny. Anyways, let's move on.